Back in 2016, Kelechi Iheanacho was fighting against Rashford to be the best wonder kid in English football. Yet in 2018-19, Iheanacho only scored once compared to Rashford's 10 goals. So what happened to Kelechi Iheanacho and where will he go next? Hi everyone, I'm Ghost Masala and welcome back to another video in the What's Happened To series, where I take a look at certain players from around the world and see what happened to them and what went wrong for them. So for example, I did a video on Alireza Jahanbakhsh. If you want to check that out, I've got a playlist in the top right hand corner, so feel free to look at that. And so what we do in this series is I will take a look at a player's career and then explain what's been the problem, what's happened to them, why have they got done so badly, and then what they should do next to sort of change that. So let's start. And first of all, Kelechi Iheanacho's career really began back in 2013 when he was selected in Nigeria's squad for the Under-17 World Cup. He'd already played well at the Under-17 African Championships earlier that year, and he was seen as one of Nigeria's best players in youth football. And at the time, he played for one of Nigeria's many football academies. Like most of his teammates, they all played for different academies in Nigeria, and Nigeria managed to easily win the tournament, with Iheanacho scoring 6 goals in total. He played along Isaac's success in that tournament, and he won the Golden Ball for best player at the tournament. So it was really impressive, and Nigeria very easily won it, so it seemed good. However, this under-17 tournament has produced very few truly good professional players. I'm trying to think of some, like Christian Pavon is like one of the best ones. Kessie, who plays for AC Milan. There weren't really any good players. Of course, quite a lot of them are still young. They're around 22, 23 now, but there haven't been many good players that have come out of that tournament. And due to his strong performances both in that tournament and locally for his youth academy, Manchester City decided to sign him in 2014. His City career began very strongly. He turned professional in 15-16, and in that season he scored 8 goals in 26 Premier League appearances, so he would basically score every time he got subbed on. Of course, he did have good teammates help him, but he seemed to have a real goal scorer's instinct, and there were some good goals in there as well. But he did get really lucky with some goals, and most of them were tap-ins though, so I mean it wasn't amazing, but it seemed like he would become Aguero's backup for a good few seasons and then take over from him. And Pep really liked him when he came in as manager. He didn't let Iheanacho go to the Olympics in 2016 because he wanted him in the squad. However, a certain man came in called Gabriel Jesus, which was not good for Iheanacho, and he also had a slightly worse season. Of course, Jesus came in January, but Iheanacho had not been playing well up to that point. He'd scored I think he got 4 goals that season, but he did, at the end of the season, he got sold for 30 million to Leicester. City clearly thought that they didn't really need him now that they had Jesus, but they did have a buyback clause on him for 50 million if he did well enough. However, this is where Iheanacho's career started to go really far downhill. Of course, at Leicester he could have turned it around and started doing really well, but in the first season, 17-18, Leicester had a lot of strikers at the club. They had Slimani, Vardy, Okazaki and Musa, and he didn't really play that well, but he did have a good FA Cup record. He scored 4 goals in 5 games, so he didn't have the worst season. He wasn't really given too many chances over Vardy and all the other strikers. However, it got even worse again. I'm saying however a lot here, but seriously, it just keeps getting worse for Iheanacho. 18-19, or last season, was somehow even worse. He played 35 games and only scored 2 goals, which is a horrible record for a striker, and he started most of his games. So what went wrong for him? So here's my theories. Of course, it's always quite hard to see what goes wrong for players sometimes, but I've had a few ideas. So he's been stuck behind Vardy for a while, so that's my first one. He's stuck behind Vardy, and he doesn't have much regular game time. Of course, he's not been doing better than Vardy. Vardy, of course, is one of Leicester's crucial players, so he doesn't get regular game time to sort of get into a good run of form. And I know this is a crucial thing for strikers, is that they need regular games in order to get into a goal scoring form. And of course, as time goes on, Vardy's going to get older and older, so he's just not going to be able to contribute as much as he was in the past. So maybe Iheanacho will get more chances and then start putting a good run of games together. And also, my second theory here is he doesn't work in Leicester's system. I think they play one striker up front in Vardy, and if Iheanacho is doing that, then maybe he'll struggle. I seem to remember that he would quite often play in a 2 up front formation with City, and that would help him a lot with having that with a striker to sort of win space and stuff, because he did get quite a lot of help from City, and of course their players at Leicester are not quite as good, but maybe with like Tielemans or other good players coming in, then they can help him out here. And he's also massively out of form, and this is my third theory, is that he's just massively out of form, and of course this is very true, but he's just in a huge run of bad form. If you think about it, this can be a career ender for strikers in particular. If you think about it, you got Berahino, he scored no goals ages, and now his career is basically dead. You got Benteke, he's not scored for a very long time. Well, I think he scored a bit recently now, but he hadn't scored for a very long time. Torres, he was never the same after his massive goal scoring drought, so it's really not looking good for him. He needs to score soon, and yeah, it's really tough for strikers. Maybe he can move further back up the pitch and that would help him, less pressure on him to score goals, but we've always seen that strikers need to score, otherwise they can just go, they'll just really start to disappear, so he needs to turn it around soon. So how could he do this? I don't know. Yeah, as I said before, I reckon he could move maybe a bit further back up the pitch. He seems really skillful in terms of how he creates chances sometimes. If you watch his old videos where he was good, he does seem like a natural goal scorer, but maybe dropping him back and putting him like sort of behind Vardy would give him some sort of opportunity to maybe find another part to his game if he's struggling to score goals now, because I'm sure he's still a good player, but he's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on if he doesn't score. So it's maybe a bit of a risk to let him play up front. Maybe he could go on loan. I mean, the transfer window's over, so I doubt he'll go on loan now, and Leicester do need backups, and it does seem like he's going to stay. But also Brendan Rodgers has come in. Of course, we had Claude Puel in for a bit, and he didn't really seem to like Iheanacho. Maybe now Brendan Rodgers is in, he'll start to play him more, but yeah, we'll have to see. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. What do you think? Comment what you think will happen to Iheanacho, whether he'll do well, whether he's just like overrated. He was always overrated and he'll just drift off into obscurity or something like that. And yeah, make sure to leave suggestions as well. I always like suggestions. I have got quite a few video ideas, but they're not really planned, if that makes sense, so I'm always open to changing, and there might not be a few videos for a while, but yeah, because I've got something, but yeah, not too much else to say. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Make sure to check out the rest of the playlist. And yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.